yeah, it's been really impressive to see INFANSON improve so much over this period. I do know that I think Disc is a coach for Root Gaming, so I think maybe he took him under his wing. I'm not 100% certain. I wouldn't mind interviewing INFANSON about it. But yeah, regardless, it's really great to see him improving at such a rate. And now, here we go. He was even able to take Ryu to the ace match in Sentimiento Latino. We'll see if he can do more. He even beat Zion's the other day. He beat Zion's. And the Zerg Lord. My god. Insane, mate. Insane. Alright, well, here we go as we set up for our next series. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, the Street Fighter, the red Zerg player. Representing the CranKy Ducklings, it is Ryu. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Roots Gaming. It is INFANSON. Let's go. So if you want to tune into the previous series, INFANSON and Ryu played against each other in Sentimiento Latino 2 days ago, where INFANSON 2-1'd Zion's in a best of 3. He beat the Zerg Lord in a best of 1. But in the end, he fell to Ryu in the grand finals. Ryu was able to beat him 3-2. If you're wondering how that happened, one, I recommend tuning into the VODs. But INFANSON tried to go Skytoss every single time he went late game against Ryu. Ryu was able to kind of dominate that. But INFANSON was able to win 2 games with Glaive Adepts. He just executed Glaive Adepts incredibly well. And his follow-up was incredibly strong as well from that, going into Blink Stalkers. And Ryu struggled. I was talking about it during the cast, how Ryu struggles a lot against Twilight Council openers and like aggressive ground toss styles in the early game. Ryu is fine against Sky Toss, but other than Sky Toss, like that's where he falters a little bit. Oh. And now INFANSON has plenty of practice. Plenty of practice. Alright, here we go. We'll see if he can keep up. As we do see, it was pretty standard openers so far. Hatch gas pull here from our Zerg player from Ryu. Going for his third base. Meanwhile, we have a Stargate opener from INFANSON. Ooh, here we go. Now, I doubt we're going to be seeing double Stargate Void Ray. Again, the last time he did this, like, Ryu was able to deal with it pretty well. Incredibly well, actually. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see, like, a Void Ray first into a Twilight Council. This is a relatively long map, but it's not as long as, like, Pride of Altares or Glittering Ashes. You can still execute Twilight Council openers here. Or Twilight Council builds, I should say. Especially when you force your Zerg opponent to take their unnatural natural like this. Oh, we shall see. As Ryu dips in, he confirms the Stargate opener. Oracle is going to be zooming across the map, and Ryu needs to set up and prepare for this. He's got plenty of queens, but I imagine we're going to be seeing some spores soon. Funada this drone. Drone, please. There we go. I hate it when that happens. You go and you build a spore, but if you build the spore at the same time that that a drone is mining, then the spore won't build, and your worker will just sit there and do nothing. Oh, it's so annoying. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful about that, as the spores do finish up just in time as the Oracle is gonna zoom in across the map. So this Oracle shouldn't deal too much damage, and as Ryu typically does, we do have pneumatized carry space behind this, so Ryu can go in for another scout. Oh, the Oracle doesn't deal too much damage at all. But at least the Oracle does have the majority of its HP. And there it is. We have a Robo follow-up. Again, especially after this weekend, INFANSON has a lot of practice against Ryu, so he kind of knows him fairly well. Yeah, there is a Twilight Council. Oh boy, Ryu, mate, you gotta take this seriously. We have a Roach Warren on the way here for Ryu. He's well aware of the potential of what's coming his way. Oh, the Overlord gets spotted before he gets in. He doesn't get the scout off. He needs to send in another Oracle. There we go. It is on the way here, being rallied all the way around to the edge of the map. Hopefully he can get in. Hopefully he doesn't drone up too much. Meanwhile, the Oracle is looking to dip in here. Find some more damage, but again, I mean, we have spores, we have queens, like we good. Up. Almost gets the drone, but not quite. Oh, and Ryu actually doesn't go for a follow-up scout. Ugh, I'm a little bit scared. A little bit concerned. Meanwhile, a bit of a brutal supply block here. Observers on the way. And this is going to be charge lots. My God. I feel like Ryu's gonna be okay here. Like, I mean, the Overlord is finally gonna dip in. He's gonna confirm the third base. There is the gateway explosion that we have been waiting for. Roaches can do fairly well here. We are lacking a fourth base though for Ryu. Like, it's honestly pretty late. Like, the third has been up for a while for INFANSON. As the Overlord does dip in. I mean, he's able to get a full scout off, which is great. And thankfully, this is what I was worried about. Baneling Nest is thrown down here for Ryu. Oh, beautiful. So with the Baneling Nest, Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager will be the composition for Ryu, and this will do so well against Chargel Archon, as long as the Banelings don't run into Archons. That's what we gotta be careful about. Oh boy. Border is being a little bit annoying here, clearing up some of the creep. Do we have enough queens? No, we got plenty of queens, mate. Oh, transfuse. Oh, maybe we didn't even need it. Void Ray gets picked off. And Ryu's actually going for a push. Oh my God. I thought he was just going to establish his fourth base. Okay, looks like that's what he is doing. Okay, I was getting a little bit concerned there. I mean, he's kind of working on a highway, but the Overlord is going to be dealt with. Meanwhile, in comes the War Prism. We're going to see a massive Warping of charge lots as well, and now it's go time. Where are the Banelings? We do have 5 on the way. They need to finish up here and now for these charge lots. They finish up just in time. The Banelings are rolling on forward. The charge lots though. The Banelings even. Oh my God. The Banelings do crash into the charge lots. Ryu, he's perfectly fine here. Biles down whatever he can. And again, this push felt honestly a little bit late from INFANSON. As we can see, Ryu has more than enough to just completely shut this push down. And now INFANSON is on the back foot, mate. There's almost nothing left to defend. Honestly, I feel like Ryu could just go for a massive counterattack, even with his queens. Because of the Void Rays, like, the Roach Ravager honestly shouldn't deal too much damage. Oh, never mind. All the Void Rays were taken out. My God. Okay, the push has been scouted. INFANSON needs to prepare. There we go. We do have another shield battery on the way at the third base. We need more than that. And, oh my God, the Archons, no, they were left exposed. I was about to say that as long as the Archons were kept alive behind the charge lots, I felt like INFANSON could defend, but now I'm not so sure. Okay, at least an Immortal does come out here, but INFANSON, he's up against the wall right now. He's not looking too good. We do have an overcharge being thrown down. But again, where's the tech here? He's stuck with charge lots. He's got Immortals. There's no blink behind this. I mean, he does have +1, but God, he just doesn't have a lot to work with. Meanwhile, mate, Ryu was sitting back fine. He threw down a Spire earlier. We have Mutas on the way. I feel like Mutas are gonna be the nail in the coffin, mate. Like, God, INFANSON was so committed with that charge lot push. Oh, so committed. After it fell, like it was kind of all over from there. Unless he had like a great transition behind this, you know, like say a Robotics Bay for disruptors, right? Instead of Immortals. Maybe something like that would have been a great way to get back into this. Unfortunately, that's not the case here for INFANSON. He did opt to go for Immortals instead. He's still stuck on those charge lots. We do have a bit of a run by, but there are Banelings to meet the charge lots. Oh my god. And now in comes INFANSON. This is it. This is going to be his final push here. Can he make something happen? There's still plenty of Banelings to deal with the charge lots. There's plenty of Roaches to deal with everything else as well. The mutas are coming out, and the mutas are just eviscerating the mineral line across the map. The main base, there is nothing left. And the same can be said when it comes to the army of INFANSON. GG gets called. Ryu takes the first game. GG. And with that, Ryu only needs one more to move on to the grand finals. My god. But again, this is still a best of 3, and this is a double elimination tournament. So even if INFANSON gets knocked down to the lower bracket, he will have another chance for a rematch, if that's how things go. Just setting things up here. Just waiting for the players to get ready. Meanwhile, do we have any other updates on the bracket? Do we have any eliminations? Some best of 1s here. Saberlight takes out Rangel. Meanwhile, Victor takes out Neo Shaggy. Oh no, Neo Shaggy, please, por favor. Feels bad, man. So now Saberlight is going up against Victor for a bit of a rematch there in a best of 3. The winner of that series will face the loser of this series. Okay, thank god. I thought I didn't have my overlay set up correctly. No, we're good. We're good. We're all good. Don't panic. Don't panic. As we are setting up for game number 2, and it looks like game number 2 is going to be on 2,000 atmospheres. Will INFANSON go Skytoss? Is he bold enough to go for that? Is Ryu bold enough to go for another Queen Walk? I hope not. Oh god, I hope not. Right, here we go. As we are loading on in. Meanwhile, shout out to Gustavo, as Gustavo is helping me cast in Portuguese. I say helping me cast. Casting the event in Portuguese. As here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres. LE, we have the Peruvian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. Currently up in this series, only needs uno más, one more, to take the entire thing and go to the grand finals. It is Ryu. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss. He is blue, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON. Here we go. So far, nothing crazy when it comes to the openers. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything crazy, to be honest. These just aren't the players for that kind of thing, I feel. I don't think I've ever seen INFANSON Proxy or Ryu, you know, open up with a 12 pool in this matchup. Done in ZVZ, but and yeah, I mean, so I spoke about this before. I feel like 2,000 atmospheres is a really good map for double Stargate Void Ray, if that is what we go for. I feel like that's probably where INFANSON should lean, especially because like we saw Ryu struggle a little bit against Saberlight, right? Like, I mentioned it before, Ryu recently has been playing a lot of Age of Empires for the past couple of days. So because of that, he's not at 100%. He's not at like his best form that he can be. He's a little bit rusty. So INFANSON could take advantage of that. Solid could. We shall see. As at the moment, just waiting for the tech to be thrown down. Oh my god! Alright. Twilight Counselor. He's ignoring the Stargate completely. He's like, nah, mate, we want to end things early here. We want to go for the Glaive Adepts, and the Slowlings do get past the Bouncer. They got past the Adept here at the natural base. Funada the Adept. The Slowlings will see everything. He will see the Twilight Counselor. Oh my god. And now what do you do? What do you do if you're INFANSON? How do you do this? What is the plan? Are we still going to see Glaives? We are. Glaives has begun here. Now, how committed is this going to be? That is the question. Are we going to see just your typical 4-gate Glaive Adepts, or are we going to see 6? As we finally have a full wall off being thrown down, Ryu immediately he starts his Roach Warren. He knows how important this Roach Warren is going to be for the defense. Creep is being spread, and what's important to note is that INFANSON has beaten Ryu before with his Glaive Adepts a couple of days ago. So Ryu, you gotta tighten up when it comes to your defense. You gotta protect your workers, and you have to work on a follow-up afterwards. You know, make sure your lair is on time, make sure your Glaive Reconstitution is on time as well, so you can go for a counterattack with your roaches. Meanwhile, third base is thrown down. It looks like it's only going to be 4-gate Glaive Adept here. We have a Robo on the way as well. Ryu dipping in with the Scout confirms all the production, all the tech. And now, it's going to be all about the execution. As the Adepts are being warped in, and they're just going to zoom across the map. Who needs a Warp Prism, mate? Who needs one? As Glaives will finish up by the time the Adepts do get across the map. And from here, INFANSON is already working on the transition. Forge gets thrown down 4+1. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Blink Stalkers on the way as well, as the Adepts are about to show up, and there are only 5 of them. I mean, we should be good. The Adepts are forced back. They didn't really commit to anything. And I have to wonder if the way that this is playing out is because INFANSON got scouted so early on. He's like, well, Funada Adept. Hello, Oreo. Buenos dias, Oreo. Buenos dias. I have to wonder if his lack of commitment was because he got scouted, so he is going into Blink Stalkers. He did go for a third base. We do see him transition here. But yeah, good morning. Good morning. Don't forget, Oreo. ANZ Champs this weekend. ANZ Champs. 3 days in a row. Good luck. Good luck. For those wondering, Oreo is, of course, our Australian Zerg player. He's going to be playing this weekend in ANZ Champs. And 3 days in a row, mate. It's going to be a very, very big weekend for the ANZ players. Especially because Oreo is going up against Seether, mate. My god. It's going to be insane. But enough about that, because here we are still in our best of 3. And my god, that is a lot of gateways. War Prism is on the way, as well as +1. +1 and Blink are going to finish up by the time the War Prism can get across the map. And again, I imagine that INFANSON wants to hit hard and soon. Meanwhile, looking at what Ryu has, he's kind of lacking in the drones. Also, his 4th base is incredibly late. I was distracted by Oreo in the chat. I didn't even notice. With such a late 4th, like, his economy isn't that amazing. His army is going to be lacking when it comes to the larva. I feel like this is probably the best chance that INFANSON has here when it comes to hitting this timing. Here we go. We're going to be zooming across the map. The Adepts from earlier are going to be joining up as well. Thankfully, they weren't wasted. They didn't go down. They didn't get a lot of drone kills, but a lot of drones weren't made either. So, oh boy. Here we go. As INFANSON continues to warp in just wave after wave of Stalkers. Sure, there's some Roach Ravager here to meet the army. Decent force fields. Oh my god, the Biles are actually connecting a little bit there. Oh, but do we have enough to defend? We're going to be seeing another massive warp in of Stalkers. Force fields once again just cutting off these Roaches. And the Stalkers are actually trading incredibly well here. We have 13 more Roaches on the way behind this. Again, Ryu just needs to buy some time, but another wave of Stalkers comes in, and he's doing it. INFANSON is breaking through. Unfortunately, Ryu, he didn't have his 4th base earlier when it comes to the larva production. He needed more Lings as well. He's trying to hold the line, but oh my god, another wave of Stalkers comes in. It just doesn't stop. Oh, the Immortal was actually left exposed. Oh my god, and the Biles are actually connecting with the Stalkers. He's doing it. The Blink Micro had much to be desired, and the War Prism could have maybe been a little bit more forward to help keep that Immortal alive. I mean, there's still plenty of momentum here for INFANSON. At the same time, we have a bit of a Roach run by. 10 workers go down. Ryu is forced back, but again, Ryu, he can honestly afford to lose the base. Maybe not the lair, but... oh, God. The Roaches once again are being thinned out. Ryu, he just needs more time. The Roaches are just barely trickling in. Pull the boys, puppy. Pull the boys. Oh, God. As it looks like just barely Ryu has done it. There's no gas remaining again. Barely any gas being mined here at the natural base because these Roaches still have not been cleaned up. Finally, we have a warping at home. INFANSON was avoiding this for so long because he didn't want to slow down the aggression across the map. But finally, the Roaches are cleaned up, but not before 18 workers go down. And the problem is that Ryu's economy was untouched. We see INFANSON trying to rotate towards the 4th base instead, but by this point it's too late. Ryu, he's stabilized. He has a decent army. He has the Roaches, the Ravagers, the Lings, even working on Burrow and Tunneling Claws. INFANSON's push was honestly looking really good. Like, again, there was some miss micros, a lack of blink here and there, the loss of the Immortal. The execution was lacking a little bit, but the build itself was looking pretty solid just because of how Ryu had responded and how late some of the production was. And with that, now INFANSON's in a really awkward place. He's trying to go into Disruptors. Oh, he never intended it. Like, this isn't really a plan B. This is like a plan C or D sort of thing. Oh, God. You can see the soup. The soup this time, it doesn't lie, mate. We have plenty of Roaches and Ravagers. Ryu is going to max out soon. And INFANSON has nothing left. This is his army. This is all he has. 6 Stalkers. 5 Stalkers. 4. Have that Immortal at home. Alright, Ryu is pulling the trigger. He's going to be able to deny this 4th base of Marooned of INFANSON. Man, he could keep going. There's no shield batteries, I just realized at the 3rd base either. I guess he doesn't need them. He goes for a Roach drop because why not? Why not just add some flair and add some style? Bird Roach is sneaking into the main base. As more probes go down. Pulling apart the army. Also, my mistake. I assumed it was going to be Disruptors. No, we have Colossus? Ugh. Okay. Colossus against Roaches. Why not? As 14 more probes go. They just don't stop. They don't stop. INFANSON, please. He's falling apart. Oh, God. As we just have non-stop Roach aggression here. Jesus Christ. You don't want to be a probe in INFANSON's army. Roaches at the third do get caught out. But again, Ryu is maxed out. The longer this goes on, I guess kind of the better it is for INFANSON, because Ryu is giving the opportunity for him to finish up upgrades and to get a larger army. But at the same time, like, I don't see Ryu waiting too much longer. He's maxed out, right? Like, yeah, let's go. I guess he's waiting for his Vipers to just finish gathering that energy. And then he'll be good to go. But yeah, like, despite the way the turn that this game has taken, I do want to commend INFANSON, because again, like, the way that he, like, the build in general, the army that he had, like, there was so much potential with that, and he almost broke Ryu, almost. There's a world out there where he did. He was doing so well, but here we go. The army, the final army of INFANSON is here across the map. He doesn't have another base behind this. He is all in. And trying to push into lurkers is never a good thing. No, the War Prism gets taken out as well. The lurkers just dive on everything. We have the Yoinks on the Colossus, on the Immortals as well. The clicks are too good. And now there is nothing but gateway units remaining for INFANSON, and gateway units are not going to cut it against the Hydras, the Lurkers, the Ravagers, the Vipers. Even a couple of Roaches sprinkled in, because why not? At this point, I wouldn't even be opposed to to yoinking just Stalkers. You gotta yoink something, and there's only one Disruptor. Oh! Go for it, Ryu. Go for it. Go for it. Oh! He gets it! The Disruptor goes down. The Biles even connect with some of the sentries. We have another Disruptor. Oh, shot's gonna go up, and it does connect with a Roach and a Ravager. Again, it's not gonna be enough. Ryu even double expanding behind this. Securing his economy, working on his upgrades. His upgrades were lacking, but you know, 2-2 is about to finish up. And GG gets called. Ryu takes the series 2-0 and moves on to the grand finals. Whack. Whack. Ryu does it. He moves on to the finals, and INFANSON, after a rough couple of games, he gets knocked down to the lower brackets.